Hello, everyone. This is Jen. I hope everybody's good. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm here with just a quick update on the current energies. A lot of things have been going on in during the holidays. I'm sure a lot have been feeling a few shifts happening. I didn't talk about it in my last video, but I'm gonna go more in further detail in this one, hopefully. Um, so basically, around Christmas, December 25th, some may have felt this before or after or about to feel it. You know, when I do talk about the energies like that, it's for the collective. So it's not precisely on the date that I'm saying. You may be feeling it like a month later. And that's okay because it's all related to how your journey is going and what kind of work you're doing. But basically, what happened is that on December 25th, there was a huge shift that happened in the Twin Flame Collective. The Divine Masculine basically started seeing how, I want to say badly, how they've been treating the Divine Feminine. And I know it doesn't apply to all of you. And what they understood basically is in the collective, right? On the spiritual level. It doesn't mean that every masculine twin flame in their body, in their physical self, started being aware of that. It depends on your journey. But a lot of them have been feeling guilty. Guilty. And what happened on Christmas Day is that they started opening up their hearts and just feeling like they wanted to apologize, but basically not having the courage to do so physically or face to face or through a text or an email. So they basically did it on the spiritual level. And that goes for all twin flames that are currently not in contact with their partner. And I don't want to use the term running because I hate that term. It's just that the runner twin basically is just running because they need to heal themselves. They need to catch up on wherever you are at. Because if you're listening, most probably you're not the runner. But these things get interchanged at some points. And then there's no one recipe fits all for everyone. That's not the way it works because life happens, right? We do make decisions. On a daily basis, we make decisions using our free will, and it can change the course of your journey. So perhaps if you've been watching readings or videos, or if you've had a reading and you make a decision, that can change the course of your journey for that moment. And if it's taking you off track, well, rest assured that you're gonna be put on track again or on your path again, because that's not the way it works. Yes, we do have free will, but it's limited. That's my opinion, and I've been studying this for a few months now. And we do have limited free will. You cannot go against your soul for your entire life. Yes, some people do it, and that's usually how people end up committing suicide, being addicted, and just totally wasting their life away. And if you're here listening, or if you're on YouTube listening or reading, you're not that kind of person. You're the kind of person who wants to understand things and you want to move on and move forward. So you're not that kind of person. So the free will concept, everyone has a different definition for it, or opinion on it, or views on it. In my opinion, we have limited free will. We cannot run against our soul or our higher self. And the way to see this is that you can picture yourself as a tube. And this tube is connected to your higher self and connected to your soul on the higher planes. And the more you go up in consciousness and the more you awaken, the higher this tube goes, or the higher you can feel this tube, this alignment. So when you feel out of alignment, it's because your physical body is not aligned with your higher self or your soul. and it's a direct channel. It's a straight path. So that's how us readers we get information is through that channel. It's because we are aligned. Not always. I'm not perfect. I do get out of alignment every once in a while. I do have to take some breaks to recharge and all of that. But being a straight channel, that's what it means, is a straight connection to spirits. And it's on the higher realm. So it starts in your physical body, and in the middle you have your higher self, and then you have your soul. So your soul is just pure energy, pure love, pure God consciousness, and it's related to the spark that we all have in our heart, which is God or Christ consciousness. It's a guidance system. It's your intuition. It's your team. It's where you need to connect to get your answers. And then in the middle, you have your higher self, which is a higher version of your physical self without the ego. So that person or that entity or that energy that is your higher self is a guide as well. So when you hear stuff like connect to your higher self to get some answers, that's what it means. It basically means get your ego out of the game. Get your ego out of the way, because your ego will never give you the right information, will never be there for your highest good, because ego is fear-based. Pure love. Your highest good is in your heart. It's in the spark that we all have in our hearts. And we do on the higher heart part have what we call the threefold flame. And this is Christ consciousness. This is the spark. So when that spark is on and actively burning or moving or awakened, this is where we get our information. This is how spirit send information through our hearts. I know in today's society, it's really easy to get disconnected from that, and that's the problem. That's why so many people are on medication. That's why so many people go through depressions or burnouts. It's because they are out of alignment. At one point, all these teachings were taken away from us, and I'm close to 40 years old, and if you're in my generation, this is not something that's been taught to us. If you're of an older generation, I really doubt that your parents were talking about this. Unless you were very spiritual or very religious, you may have heard some concepts, and this is not a new age thing. I really dislike this label. It's old, ancient wisdom. It's ancient teachings from way before Jesus came on earth. It's really, really, really old. It's wisdom that every human had at one point, but we, through our incarnations and karma, we forgot about that. And the whole point of spiritual awakening and ascension is to reconnect to that wisdom. So if I go back to what happened on December 25th, is that the collective, the Divine Masculine Collective, started seeing that they were probably out of alignment with their own divinity and their own truth. And they started realizing that they haven't been treating the Divine Feminine in the right way. And they started expressing in their heart or realizing in their mind that perhaps they should apologize for this. So on that day, there was a wave of energy with apologies. So if that's what you felt, you might have felt like a small shift, a connection with your twin flame's higher self, and him or her apologizing to you. And that's what it was. And then 1 week later, on January 1st, there was a huge release, because that was a huge portal for a spiritual portal to receive new energies. And this is when they started feeling the pressure. They started seeing themselves as really out of alignment and feeling that pressure to go back in alignment and on their path, on aligned with their truth. And they started seeing things completely differently. All of these things that you see or you've been seeing in your partner that they haven't been seeing, they are now starting to see it. All of these things that you may have been talking to your friends about or to a reader about or trying to understand, thinking, oh my God, this person is asleep. This person is totally not seeing this the same way I am. They are now starting to see it. It actually started on January 1st. And then we had the full moon, so another huge release. And then we had the 11/11 portal, a huge gateway for new energy. So all of that needed to happen before the 11/11 portal so that they could make space to receive these energies. So if you've been feeling your body vibrating, that's what it was, because we are integrating physically these energies and these codes, and we are changing. Don't be surprised if you are losing your hair at this time. Totally normal. I mean, I suffer from this a lot, losing my hair when we do have intense wave of energies. So you can, self-nurture and just do what you need to do according to your physical symptoms. Sleeping patterns have been very disrupted. Nightmares, and also a feeling of déjà vu. That means that either things are being solved or it's a sign. It's your guidance to show you this is where you're going. And you may be having a lot of these, and feeling, oh, but I've been through this before, or oh, that sounds familiar, or that seems familiar. Where did I see this? Either it's coming from your dreams or it's simply the déjà vu. Like you've been probably astral projecting in your dream and saw the future, but your physical self did not remember it. And then when you go through it in your physical self or life, that's where you get that feeling of, I've been here before. I've seen this person saying these exact words to me before. So that's what has been going on, and it's going to keep going on for a few weeks until we reach that balance, because right now the divine masculine is still working on healing their past traumas, past lives, karma, whatever they have to heal, releasing past life trauma that has been going on very strongly, but also releasing stuff from this life, their adult life, the mistakes that they think they made or the wrong choices that they made. They're now seeing it and saying, I don't resonate with that anymore, and now I need to do or make different choices in order to get different results, right? Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. They see that they cannot do that anymore. Therefore, they need to make different choices. And that's basically how you solve karma, is you do something different. You make a different choice. You try something different. If you fall, that's okay. The whole point is to get back up and get back on track and pursue this and move forward. So right now, what is going on in the divine masculine's headspace is that they're looking at the past 2-3 years or so, maybe 5. That's not really important. They're looking at that and going through a review and saying, I've been through this, I've been through that. This is the choice that I made then. And now I have this fear inside of me that this will play out again or will happen to me again. So I need to make a different choice. They are basically making choices and deciding for their future. And yes, that will have an impact on you. But rest assured, we have limited free will. So no matter what the choices that they make, things will get realigned. Things will change. Your spiritual team do not or won't or will not let you suffer The important thing is just to keep doing you, keep being your best, keep putting your best foot forward no matter what the situation is. They are making choices and they are confused. I know a lot are going to say, but they have been confused for such a long time. Yes. Look at yourself now. Have you been confused? Have you been doing something or putting something off? Have you been saying, I'm not in a hurry, this and that? I'm not looking at this. Have you been making choices? So, putting the blame or projecting on others is not the solution here. The solution is to look at yourself and allow your partner to do their own process. There's nothing to make it quicker, but to work on yourself and keep on expanding, educating yourself, and putting one foot in front of the other. Another big thing that has been going on is guilt. A lot of guilt. The divine masculine has been feeling guilty because they're now seeing things differently, and they're like, whoa, how did I make that choice? What was I thinking to do this? Now, how do I get out of this? This is also related to making choices. They are trying to figure out. And I'm not going to say they're trying to figure out and they want to communicate with you. We all know they do. We all know their souls do. Even though the physical reality may seem different, know that their souls do and their higher selves do too. There is no doubt on that whatsoever. They do. So whether they are aware of this or not, how is this going to impact you or change your life if you would know the answer? Let's say you're in separation and you're trying to figure out if your twin physically wants to reach out to you or not. Just think about this for a second. What energy is behind that kind of question? Is it insecurity? Is it doubts? Is it fears? Because when you're in balance and you're whole, of course you can ask yourself that kind of questions, but the answer would not change anything for you. So not knowing doesn't matter. Knowing doesn't matter because you keep on doing you, doing your life, going about your life, expanding, moving forward, no matter what your situation is. If you're alone, if you've lost a lot of friends because of this spiritual path, because I know it happens to people. It happened to me. For the past 20 years, I lost a lot of friends that did not understand what I was going through, that they thought that I was crazy. And I had this major back pain related to this spiritual ascension and this twin flame path. And they thought that I was making this, to get attention or this and that. But you know what? I had to let them go. I had to let them go. We had to disconnect, basically. Some of them are actually coming back into my life. But for the others that have not, well, they've been replaced with spiritual people. Spiritual people with whom I can connect easily and speak about my own experience and what I'm going through on a day-to-day basis. Because this is not an easy journey at all. It's very hard. I sometimes think I would not wish this on my worst enemy. And that's kind of ironic because it is a beautiful path. It is a beautiful thing. It's amazing the changes that we're able to make in ourselves when we're on a twin flame path. But it's also extremely hard. And if you're surrounded with people that are not really spiritual, they won't understand. They just won't. And this is a deception or disappointment that a lot of people have to deal with. I deal with this also on a daily basis. It's not always easy to connect with people that are not awakened or that they look at you and they're like, where do you come from to be talking about stuff like that? And when I get that kind of reaction, it kind of makes me laugh because I trigger them, right? That's what it means. But I'm also like, but I'm not even talking about spiritual stuff. I'm just seeing things differently than you. So yeah, so that disappointment, I mean, it's okay, it's there. Use it and transform it to know and find your way. Don't hang on to it. Just accept that this is who you are. Accept your truth and stand in it and speak it out loud, and let people think what they want to think. It doesn't matter. What matters is you. And we're going to be tested on that all our lives, to speak our truth, to realize that we have an impact on other people when we speak our truth. And as I'm saying that, the guides and the angels are coming in saying, talk about the YouTube channels. I've been seeing an explosion of new channels lately. I have not watched all of them. I've just checked out a few, and I'm not going to name names, but again, they're sending a warning. Be careful what you're taking as truth. Be careful who and what you watch. Because this twin flame community, it seems like it's attracting a lot of people. And there are a lot of people who are not twins talking about this journey because they think they are on a twin flame path. And no, they may be, and they don't do it intentionally. They don't do this on purpose. It's just that they're talking about their own journey. And the thing is, you need to be responsible and just be careful at what you take in as truth. But there are a few channels that are to be avoided because these people don't have the twin flame's best intentions, and we need to use discernment and be careful, and we need to protect ourselves. And the blue energy of Archangel Michael is a very protective energy. The gold energy is very protective as well and related to the universe or Christ consciousness. The violet flame is an energy to transmute and transform. And we all have these energies within our spiritual bodies, within our souls. We just need to know how to access it. That's about opening those paths to access those energies. If you meditate, you're going to know when they're activated. Trust me, you're going to know. They're going to show you that you now can access these levels, either through a vision, through hearing it, through knowing, or all of a sudden feeling this energy and then seeing blue or stuff like that. That's how it works. So yeah, they just wanted me to say to be careful about the YouTube channels. There are many new out there. A lot out there, a lot of readings. Just be careful, especially if it's a collective reading. I mean, don't get disappointed. Don't get triggered. Be careful. Let me see, back to the divine masculine. So I was talking about making choices. So they are reflecting on that, making choices. They are connecting with their intuition, and there is no more time. They have to do this. So it's really important to not make any interference and let them do that. They are going deeper and deeper with connecting their heart to their hearts. Some of them are connecting their hearts with their mind, which is a very difficult task to do when you don't know how. Especially if you've been living all your life without connecting to your heart. Imagine the kind of work it takes. Especially if for those masculine who have been out of relationship, who's had, for those who had their lives taken apart. Some of them are going through that in 2018. Some of them have been going through that in the past few years, having their lives taken apart, divorce, losing their business, moving out, selling their homes to go to a smaller apartment or a smaller condo so that they could be on their own and connect to their heart. So that's a sacred process, and we can only let it happen. There is no way to make this go faster. If you try, it's only interference. So the only thing you can do is hold this space and keep clearing yourself and do whatever works for you. Meditation, body work. I know I've been getting a lot of body work lately. It's been helping me with moving those energies, those ascension energies that we've been receiving since the big portals. It really was helpful for me to do body work. Because sometimes it gets stuck, you can't do this through meditation or with the power of your mind, because your real power lies in your heart and not in your mind. So the power of attention, I have my own opinion on that, but that's for another video. Okay, so I'm just reviewing making choices. So yeah, making choices. So right now, what people can do, what you guys can do, is just ask for your twin to get clarity, and make choices for their own highest good. Other than that, it's just I was gonna say the normal stuff, but this path is not normal. Other than that, it's just staying on your path, even though, because I know a lot of people are feeling that their lives are pretty boring right now. And it is meant to be this way. So take a look at the final details and the fine tuning that you need to do in your life. If you've been clearing a lot of physical stuff, for example, perhaps you just have smaller details that you need to take care of right now to be ready and in balance. Focus on being in balance and keeping your balance. Using the Merkaba cube is a good tool to help with polarities and balance the feminine and masculine side. But whatever way you have is okay, as long as you stay in balance. I think that's it. That is it for now. Thank you for listening. I will be back shortly with another update. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can do so on my Facebook page through Indigo Girls Readings, or using my email indigogirl555@gmail.com. And no, it wasn't over. They're just showing me that easier, something has been lifted. So either, depending on the choices that you made or make right now, are making right now, it's either going to get tougher or easier on you. Easier in the sense that if you decide to stay aligned with yourself, it's going to get easier. If you decide to run off track, well, it's going to get harder, because you're going to be guided to go back on your path if you want to ascend higher. So make responsible choices. Anyway, thank you for being here, and until the next time, I hope you all are well. Thanks. Bye.